Have you ever heard of the Biderman Chart of Coercion?
What?
Biderman Chart of Coercion.
No.
I'll tell you what it is and then I will ask you some questions. So the Biderman Chart of Coercion is a chart developed by Amnesty International to determine the psychological torture techniques performed on POWs. It's also used to determine coercion in spousal relationships. So the question is, are you aware that some of the interventions practiced by ABA are similar to torture techniques?
What? Sorry?
Some of the interventions practiced by ABA are similar to torture techniques in terms of coercion.
Do you understand the question?
No.
In looking at the article on ABA's abuse, did you look at any of the references?
I got this 2 days ago, and that would require going through those different references. No, I wouldn't have had time to go through every single reference and look at the actual article.
Some of these articles are from 15 years ago about autism. Surely, as an autism expert, you would be keeping up with the latest research on autism. So you should be aware of a lot of them. Let me rephrase the question. Have you read any articles about brain scans on autism?
Yes, we had UCSD come in and present their recent research.
That wasn't the question. Have you read any other peer-reviewed articles that talks about brain function and autism?
Yes.
Have you read about the brain scans of autistic people when they do eye gaze?
Do what?
Eye gaze, where they look at you in the eye.
No.
Okay.
Are you aware that, according to those studies, when a child with autism is forced to look at somebody, it's painful, and so it's experienced like physical torture?
No.
How much do you know about brain function?
Basics.
Basics. All of the discussion that actually was not opinion but fact about brain function of autistics, did you follow that?
Most of it.
The conclusions she drew from that, not opinion but actual research, would you find that truthful as well?
I don't know if I understand the question.
So if she followed the research, it said the brain scan said this about the autistic brain, and therefore this was the consequence. Therefore, saying ABA caused that consequence, is that a logical conclusion from the evidence she heard?
Do you understand that question?
No.
Okay. Doctors told you brain scanning causes pain. One of the basic techniques in ABA, the first thing they do with any child is look at me. And they do it over and over and over and over until the child masters it at 80%. Do you think forcing a child to look at somebody, when we know from brain scans it causes pain, that it could be considered abuse?
You talked, there's a couple things you talked about. One is sensory issues are separate from readiness to learn issues.
No. I'm talking about brain scan says that looking at somebody in the eye causes pain. ABA practice says, look at me in the eye. Do you agree that causes pain?
According to the research that you're citing.
Given that research, would the logical conclusion then be ABA is abuse for the child that's told to look at me?
I think I wouldn't use that word.
Well, what is physical torture? If it's painful doing it and I'm doing it over and over and over again and it's painful, isn't it considered torture?
I wouldn't use the word torture.
What word would you use?
If it's important for the child to pay attention, you're finding ways for the child to pay attention. And we're some of it semantics about some things that are biological sensory versus educational and behavioral.
It's not semantics. This is about
You're
Okay, all right.
arguing.
Yeah.